how much money you should take out your business can be looked at from two different angles. So one, the commercial aspect of it, and two, the tax aspect of it. Now, I, perhaps surprisingly, since I'm an accountant, always want to steer business owners to think a lot more about the commerciality of it than the tax implications. Of course, we need to be aware of the tax implications. We need to understand the tax implications. But the commerciality to the business and to ourselves as individuals is incredibly important, because that is what drives us and that is what builds our lives. So when you are looking at how much money to think about taking home from your business, I want you to think about it in these two ways. So first off, I want to cover off probably the bit that's the easiest, and that is the tax aspect. Now, this advice that I'm giving to you is UK based. So if you are in a different country and you're watching this, please make sure that you do consult a local tax specialist so that you can understand the tax implications in your own country. For UK business owners, for people who are running UK limited businesses, the general advice, and again, you should consult somebody specifically on your situation. Make sure that you get specific advice tailored to you. The general advice at the current point in time, which is February 2020, is that you would take a salary out of your business up to the current personal allowance level. That's the tax-free amount that you're allowed to take home. And then any remaining money you want to take out your business, you would do that by way of dividends. The caveat on that is a dividend is an appropriation of profit, which means the business must be profitable in order to declare and pay a dividend to yourself. And therefore, that is something you need to keep in mind. So you might want to watch some of my other videos around profitability to make sure that your business is trading profitably. So that is the kind of quick overview on the tax position for how much salary you should take at your business. But what I want to speak much more about is the commercial aspect of it. And there are two bits to the commercial aspect also, because with the commercial aspect, we have to consider the business itself, and then we have to consider you personally as an individual, because of course we all have lives that cost money, and we can't pay our mortgage with Facebook likes and unicorn dust. So we need to take money out of our business in order to live the life that we want to live out with our business. So that is one consideration. How much money do you actually want and need to live? That is something that you need to be really aware of, because you can't understand how much you need to take out your business if you actually don't know how much you need as a minimum baseline. Now, of course, we all want to be paid more than a minimum baseline from our business, but we need to understand that number to be really clear on how much we can take out. Because the other part of it is, what can the business afford to pay us? And when looking at what the business can afford to pay us, one, we need to make sure that the business will have the cash available to give us the salary that we want. And that therefore means that the business's expenses need to be in alignment as well. So if you've not watched my videos on money leaks in your business, I highly advise that you watch that one. That will help with this. Also, you may want to check out my video on reinvesting in your business as well. This feeds nicely into this video too. So we want to make sure that the business has the cash available to pay the money that we want to take home from the business, but we also need to make sure that we're not strangling the business in doing that. So there can be often a balancing act between those two things. There can be a push and pull. Now, typically what I find is business owners are one extreme or the other. We have one side over here where people are taking very, very little out of their business. They are plowing all the money back in. They're typically overspending in their business, and therefore there is no money left over for the business owner. The business owner is attempting to live off the financial scraps of their business. They are potentially going into debt because of that. That is the situation that's over here. And with that position, we need to make sure that the business is as lean as it can be, the expenses are as lean as they can be. And what I want to kind of put out to those types of businesses are that, I just want to give you an example, that if your business's revenue is basically below £150,000 a year, you should be taking home approximately 50% of that. That percentage comes from Profit First. It's a book by Mike Malkowitz. If you have not read it, I highly, highly recommend that you do that. It is a really great book. If you want to get the first 5 chapters, the core chapters, without having to touch Amazon, without having to pay out any money at all, then I do have a PDF of those. You can head to annetteandco.co.uk/pfbook, and you can get the core chapters of that. That has these percentages in it for the different bands, the different income bands for your business, and how much percentage you should be taking home as a result of the different revenue bands. But that's something to bear in mind. If you're up to about 150,000, 50% of that should be able to come to you in take home. And if it is not, then you need to assess those money leaks in your business, and that you can check out that video on that. So that is something to make sure that you are aware of and make sure that you keep in mind. So if you're that person over there, that is one thing. Now there's another person over here that is basically saying, okay, I am often scared to take money out of the business. I want to just keep money in the business. I don't want to pay myself for that reason. I am worried about taking money out of my business. Then it's about looking at planning and making sure that you understand when money is coming in and when money is coming out, so that you can make sure you are comfortable with when you can take the money out of your business that you need. And that's really important too. There's a third person that basically has a position where they are basically bleeding the business dry because they are taking too much money out of the business. Again, looking at those percentages under Profit First will be really helpful for this. But if you are somebody that is taking as much money as you can out of the business, you may actually then be strangling the growth of the business. So there's a balancing act between all these situations to make sure that you are as optimal as you can be in terms of your take home, because let's face it, that's the reason why the vast majority of people run a business is to take home more money from it, more money than you would be in a job. But of course we know, statistics show us, but that is very, very often not the case. It's very often the case that most people would be financially better off in a job, even if that's, part of the reason that they actually start their business is for financial freedom. We know a lot of people don't reach it. So, some of these tips that I share with you is about actually getting to that place where you can reach that financial freedom. So making sure you are taking out the money you want and need from your business and setting up your business in a way that can do that. So if you enjoy what I share, I would love if you want to subscribe to this channel. Make sure you turn on the bell so that you know next time a video is uploaded, so that you can come and check it out. My name is Annette Ferguson. I am CEO of Annette & Co, UK-based accounting firm. I am also a financial coach, and I help business owners take home lots more money from their business. Now, I would love if you want to share with me that you have been watching the video. So please do give me some love in the comments. Please do give me some of those thumbs up. And if you would like to, I would love if you want to take a screenshot, share this on Instagram and tag me in the post or the story. I am at Annette_Fergs. And I would love to know what you've learned from today, and maybe even perhaps some of the things that you might be thinking about tweaking and changing in your business so you can take home the amount of money that you want and need from your business. Thank you so much for watching today. I highly, highly appreciate your time. Take care, everyone, and I'll speak to you soon.